Welcome to the Blue Hour, episode 20. Every week, Charlie and myself get together, talk about emerging trends in the tech space. This week, we're going to talk about the first ever prompt engineering conference, a second plugin developed by one of the hosts of this podcast, and all the things that have been happening around that. Cool. Let's kick it off. The prompt engineering conference is something that I don't believe you knew about until a week ago, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it might have been 2 weeks ago now, but yeah, you told me about it. And it sounds like somebody was setting it up and they were looking for subject matter experts and they found young James or Erich. And next thing you know, his face is on the website. I've actually sent it to several people now. And yeah, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's fun. I got reached out to because of my plugin Prompt Perfect that's on ChatGPT. There's a guy who works for Microsoft that wanted to put together a nonprofit, completely remote conference in October around prompt engineering, which we've talked about, but is basically the act of trying to get the most out of an AI by creating like the best version of a question or task list or whatever it is that gets the result you want from an AI. It's an extremely new field. There's like some jobs being posted, they're prompt engineering jobs, but it's really one of these like vague ethereal things right now. Like, what is prompt engineering? And it's a pretty cool because now me and two other guys are co-planning this thing. We've already got 500 people signed up, which is wild, and we have done zero marketing. So I'm excited. We'll talk about it as we get further and further along, but it's something I've been passionate about now for 8 months. And weirdly, it's so early. We've talked about how early it is, but jumping on this wagon, getting good with AI models has proved super fruitful. Excited to educate people. I need to put in a request. I'm going to give a talk during it. So the way it'll be set up is you'll have 3 speakers. It'll be, I think, 15 to 30 minutes. They'll give a speech or demo or some sort of talk about something they do in the world of prompt engineering, and that educates and informs people. And then there will be like a 45-minute panel discussion between those 3 people with a host, and their users will be able to ask questions. It'll be live streamed on YouTube, so there's like a side chat where you can ask questions directly to the people, which is awesome. And there'll be like a break between each, but I think there will be 3 sessions of those. So we're hoping to get a bunch of really awesome people who are doing cool things in the space, and it'll be completely free. Promptengineering.rocks is the website. You can sign up there for free, which is really cool. Are you gonna come?
Oh yeah, dude. I was one of the first, I think, 25 people to sign up. How do you spell rocks? ROCKS?
Yeah.
All right, cool. That was one of the things I wanted to ask.
Yeah, I didn't pick out the URL.
All right. Well, you don't have to. We know. It's okay.
Yeah.
What about the other people? How did they like? What are they doing in the prompt engineering space? What makes them subject matter experts? Obviously, we've been talking about this for a while, and you've been talking about it for a while. But what about them?
Yeah. So Maxim is the main guy who came up with the idea, and he works in developer relations for Azure, which is in Microsoft. And I don't know as much. I don't have his background written down, but I'm pretty sure a lot of his focus is trying to empower people to use AI systems through prompt engineering. I think he does a lot of like workshops for Microsoft, and trying to get people to kind of realize the potential that there is with this tech stack, and also all the things you can do with prompt engineering. And then I believe Dan, I'm going to fuck his name up. Dan Cleary is the other co-planner right now, and he is the co-founder of a platform called Prompt Hub that is not live yet. It's in kind of like pre-testing phase, but you can sign up, I think, if you Google Prompt Hub, you'll find it. It's a really cool prompt engineering software where it's almost like GitHub for prompts. So currently you use your own OpenAI API key, which anybody can get at platform.openai.com. And you plug it in, and then you can test different models, GPT-4 versus GPT 3.5 versus all the other models. You can change temperature setting. You can change what's called the system message, which is what informs a chatbot on what it's supposed to do. Then you can write in a prompt, test it out, and if you save it, it'll add a little window to the side so you can start testing a prompt against it. So I found a lot of use in it the past 2 weeks, tweaking prompts to try and get them to sound less like a weird robot and more like an authentic idea and really well written, cool thing. And the way you can do that is so cool. It's like it literally shows it in red and green, and it shows you the difference in the output, the difference in your prompt, so you can make these really small tweaks. And there's not really anything else that does it, so it's pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It's in beta or it's live?
yeah. I mean, I think it's allow list only right now.
Got it.
Yeah, so you can sign up for early access on their site. Um,
Cool. That's
if you
awesome.
want, yeah, if you want early access, I can just ask them; they'll give it to you.
What about the other? So there would be 3 sessions of 3 speakers. Who else are you guys trying to? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, there's just a request for proposals now. So on the off chance somebody sees this who's in the space, if you go to promptengineering.rocks, there's like I think it's called CFP or whatever. Maxim's really good. He's done a bunch of these conferences, so you get requests for people to talk, and I think there's already 10 or 13. But we'll pick the people we think will have interesting conversations for what our goals are, and if they have cool topics, like that's kind of the way to do it. We're going to try
Sick.
and reach out to at least somebody from OpenAI to see if they'll come on, because it's a pretty low bar. It'll take you like an hour and a half tops, as far as
Yeah.
like time commitment, but it'll be super fun. Also, really cool to see what people are building. It's like such an early time in this space that it's exciting for me because you can nerd out and actually learn things. And I have a vested interest in probably every talk that'll happen. So I'll be locked in all day. And I think I'm co-hosting too, so I'll be like emceeing a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, it'll be a blast. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Virtual events are not as fun as in-person events, but they're a good second best. And
Yeah.
there'll be some video components, and it'll be great. I worked at a virtual events company for a while, so it'll be interesting to see that, like from a platform perspective. But yeah, it could be huge. I mean, how many? Yeah, we'll talk more about your
Yeah.
plugins in a
I
moment.
think
But
it's going to be a shit ton of people there. I think we're going to get tens of
yeah,
thousands of people signed up for this thing.
I don't see why there wouldn't be. With the number of users that you have on your plugins, like, and also if we have the fastest growing consumer facing product since, like, I mean, Instagram, it took them 8 months to get to the growth that OpenAI's ChatGPT saw in 1 week or something
Yeah.
crazy like that. And so, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see just how many people. I think it's about getting the word out. You guys aren't doing any marketing. I think it's important to give you guys, I think this isn't much of a platform, but it's important I know a lot of people have been texting me about what it is that we're talking about and just trying to get us to talk more about it. And our episodes that have prompt engineering in the title get so many more hits than any of the others right now. And so I wanted to kind of focus on, I thought that this was a really good thing to talk about. And obviously you do too. So
Yeah.
like that was my idea. But
Yeah, it's cool. Get
yeah,
in and start prompting every day, man. What really did it for me was I started using ChatGPT every day and trying to get the best output I could by fucking around and finding out.
for
Uh,
sure.
yeah, and so that's my advice. And also sign up for the conference and come see what we're all building. And like there will be cool. The game plan is to have really cool tools that the people who are building them can talk about why they build them, how to use them, their experience with prompt engineering, and I think it'll be some of the most experienced prompt engineers ever kind of on the same live stream, which is wild. And weirdly, I'm a part of that. So there we go.
Yeah, it's not so weird. Um, cool. I think that's a really good summary of the show. It's going to be in October. Do you know the date? I have it in my calendar. I can look it up real quick.
It's in late October, so
Uh, and
or
the
mid
conference
October.
is called Prompt Engineering something. Yeah, Prompt Engineering Conference 2023 is. I have it written down as October 12th and 13th.
There you go. It's
Yeah.
one
So,
day. It's one of those two.
all right. Cool. Yeah. For whatever reason, when I just like got the invitation and it automatically made it both days. So I don't know which one that is. Um. All right. Cool. So mid October, we'll see you there without a doubt. We'll talk a lot about all this stuff in between then and now. All right. Cool. So should we talk about Prompt Perfect or the second plugin?
Let's talk second plugin.
All right. Cool. Hit me. What are you
Yeah.
calling it?
So yeah, your boy over here built a second plugin this weekend. I did like almost a mini hackathon for myself. I think that's the only way I get anything done. But it's an idea that Charlie and I have been talking about off the pod for a while, and it's called Perfect Chirp. So if you're a plus user for ChatGPT and you have plugins, you can search Perfect Chirp, install it, and then all you do to initiate is say write a tweet, and then write whatever you want. Normally an idea works well. You can also put source content in there. I did a demo today where I just typed in the headline of a news story, and like within 30 seconds, you get 10 tweets in different styles that I think sound better than the majority of AI generated tweets. And since it's in ChatGPT, you can make quick edits directly underneath it. So after it spits out, you could be like, could you take tweet number 5 and add more detail and make the language more opinionated? And it'll do that instantly. And it's such a fast way to build content. So I'm excited for it. It launched, I submitted on Monday and it got in on Tuesday. So really quick process. I think plugin development is getting more and more interesting. I think they really want a bunch of plugins in their store, and I'm excited to kind of put this out there. It's the first plugin I built where monetization is included. So there is a free and a paid plan. If you install it, you're automatically put on the free plan. And then once you hit 8 tweets that you've generated, it'll tell you that you've hit your usage limit for the month. So you can either wait for a month and then use it again, or it'll serve you a link where you can click. And if you pay $2.50 a month, you get unlimited use, which I'm hoping is a good price. But yeah, it's cool. I don't know how you got to use it yesterday. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I had aspirations of using it on Blue Sky because content is king, obviously, but I'm like the least content heavy person of all time. So it's not really for me. I'm not much of a marker, like a tweeter or blue sky, blue skyer. Um, I'm just doing like other stuff and building like a CRM and all this operational stuff for a few different organizations. So I've just been staying busy. But in terms of using it, it's funny to uh, I'm a subscriber and I was using it in a few different iterations. And it's fun to see the way that if you compare it to the way that ChatGPT provides you with tweets in comparison to the way that Perfect Chirp provides you with tweets, like it's extremely different. And also, I thought that it was really fun how all 10 of the tweets are in different tones or different sort of styles.
Yeah,
Some are really funny, some are more succinct, some are more like they're different. They're just like so different in terms of the style of them. So, I mean, I know what the back end looks like because you and I've spoken about this for months, but it's really fun to see it just kind of spit out. And so I can imagine that a lot of people. I mean, it's been live for 22 hours or something. So
yeah,
there's not been that much usage on it. I mean, there's been a lot of usage on it. There've been, I don't know, 50 signups. Is that what you said? Something like that?
yeah. It's like 130 now,
Okay, awesome.
organically, which is cool.
130.
Yeah,
130. That's fucking crazy.
I know.
Um, so how many were there this morning?
100 and something. It's like slowly building. Yeah,
Okay, that's amazing.
I know. And it's only find it like you have to search to find it. Like nobody knows about it. So uh, that's kind of the cool part.
Wow. Wow. So yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how people use it. I'm not really sure. I
Yeah.
think it's really cool. I think it's great. And
I
ultimately, this is sort of like a lightweight version of something else, right? Or is that
Yeah.
do you not really
Yeah, I
want
have
to
a pro version that's like its own app where you can choose a style and it'll generate something like this, but one tweet at a time that you can finesse and edit, which is really cool. And I like it. And this is almost like an intro to that. Um, I think it's cool for people. Twitter's such a huge platform. It has such a loyal user base, a lot of which don't actually tweet that much. And I think part of that is one, it takes a while to actually think of a tweet. And the idea behind this is not to like make it so that robots can write a bunch of tweets. It's more or less to for people who have ideas or concepts that they want to write about, make it easier for them to spin up a tweet quickly and feel like, oh yeah, I can put this out there. I still firmly believe that everything's a little bit better with a human touch on it. So making edits to it's probably going to make it better, but I think it's probably the best starting off point you could have for that. And you can copy and paste if you want, but I think a few tweaks is probably the move.
Yeah, I'm also pretty. impressed by the amount of work that went into creating the actual back end of it so that it works well. And so the way it, yeah, sure, like you will probably want to add in some human touch, but at the same time, it's really, really solid. I only because I've been testing it. You wouldn't let me test it for a long time. Then I started testing it over a week ago, and then it's improved a lot. And it's also improved, even just in that week, it's improved. But it's probably been more than a week actually.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Yeah, I was going ham on that. I think it's like, for me, I want to build a product that people are surprised by and want to be
yeah,
like, this is cooler than, because I think OpenAI's API building on it allows you to build things where people can be like, oh shit, this is wild, which is what a lot of people I think experienced kind of at first with ChatGPT. Granted, there's not a lot of hand holding, so people run out of ideas pretty quickly on what to do with it.
yeah,
And I like the idea of sort of guiding people down the path of, here's things you can do with it, and all you have to do is give us a little bit, and we'll give you a lot.
yeah. I'm really interested to see. I think that the fact that most plugins, like one of the things that I've noticed with your plugins, these two of them, is that they in the description when you download them, they tell you how to use them.
Yeah.
Most of the other plugins are a description of what the plugin is, or even maybe not even that useful.
Yeah.
uh, and so it's really, I think that that's a cool design decision that you've made, is to
Yeah.
explain how to use them as well. And really, I realize we're talking to a pretty niche audience. You have to be a ChatGPT Plus user in order to be able to to use these at all. But um, nonetheless, I think it's pretty freaking cool. And also we saw you sent me a YouTube video of somebody walking through one of the prompts, like the prompt. I don't know. I feel like there are people digging in deep, and they're going to
Yeah.
find, they already are. 150 in 22 hours is awesome. I'm really impressed by that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Any
And
paid subscribers yet?
no, not yet.
Okay. Other
Nobody's really
than me, Eric, yeah.
one person hit. So I had the usage limit at 5. The first person who hit it was in Japan, and they instantly tweeted out about it. They're like, "Here's the plugin. Like, it's kind of cool, but you have to pay to use it a lot, and I don't think I'll pay for it." And I was
Yeah,
like, "I'm gonna increase the usage limit a little bit just to get people hooked, maybe." But at the end of the day, if it's not a product that you think is worth paying for at the price it is, then it's not a product. So we'll see. I have ideas to build other plugins too now. Um,
no doubt.
Especially the question has been, can you monetize plugins on ChatGPT? And OpenAI has been not clear on that. And I'm working with a, a, a software called Plugin Labs that somebody has built that is on, it's almost like a middle layer between my plugin and ChatGPT. Allows me to authenticate and create user accounts and then build in a way to charge people and do this free and paid plan, which is really cool. And so I wanted to test it out, just part of the reason of being like, let's do a quick sprint and build this. And it's exciting. I don't know if I'll integrate that into Prompt Perfect, because everybody would have to reinstall it and I would lose all the traction. Because Prompt Perfect has been doing really well, getting a lot of good feedback. It is free, and there's really not a lot of benefit besides the legitimacy it brings to be the builder of it, which is still very cool. Um, but I'm excited for this to see if there's a way to make paid ones work. It's kind of a brand new world.
Yeah. um, I was pretty interested. How did the conversation start with the guys who created that middle layer? That's something that I thought was kind of interesting. Is that worth chatting about, you think, or not?
Yeah. I mean, I found this guy originally in the Open AI community forums. So they have developer forums, and there's a plugin section, which when I was building my first plugin was like 15 people regularly commenting in it. And he was like, we're building an analytics solution for plugin developers, and I want to know what people are interested in. And so there was like a little back and forth, and I knew him from there. But at first I was like, I don't want to integrate a software into it yet. Like, I'm just building it. And as plugins have developed over the last 5 weeks, since they kind of added that second batch, they've built a lot of cool features. And so me and him are going back and forth a lot now, and they have good features. And their plan is to, like, their success is measured on the success of the plugins that are using them. So they're really trying to build out a cool suite of tools, which I think is awesome. And it's clean. It looks clean. The experience for as hard as it is to build an account when you're already in ChatGPT and eventually go pay, like I think they're doing a pretty solid job with what they've built.
And so they've built like a way for plugins to monetize through like token. Is that the
API calls. Yeah, so it's
okay?
like really the only way it works is you could be like on free you get this many API calls a month, or if you wanted to do it a year, I think you could do that. And then a paid plan, which is this. So for me, it's like, we have 8 as the usage limit for free right now per month, and then for unlimited, it's like 999 million requests to the API or some shit.
Cool.
Yeah,
Um, what's the name of that team? What's the name of their company?
Plugin Labs.
Cool.
Plugin
That's so
Labs.
interesting. So we're seeing organizations building on top. So this is exclusive to ChatGPT
Yeah,
that they're building on top of.
yeah. And I talked to him a little bit about Bing because me and him were on a call yesterday. So they'll probably have some integration there. But it's cool. It'd be a great company to invest in if you were like a early seed investor, because
Yeah.
their success is fully predicated on one, the success of plugins, and then the success of plugin developers who use it, because
Yeah.
they have a direct correlation with like if plugins make money, they make money. So it's a great bet on where the tech's going.
Pretty freaking cool. Plugin Labs, you said?
Yeah, pluginlabs.ai. That actually might not be an S, but yeah,
Um, so then you said that 22 hours, 150 signups. Let's transition over to Prompt Perfect plugin.
yeah.
How many users have you had in the last 24 hours for Prompt Perfect, the plugin?
I've had 20,000 prompts perfected, which is wild.
In 24 hours.
Yeah, which I don't know how many that I was averaging it out the other weekend because it's fun for me on the weekend to be like when it was 14,000, I think it was like every 5 seconds somebody was perfecting a prompt using it. Now it's
Cool.
probably more like every 3 seconds, which is really cool. There's a lot of value in it, um, and it feels wild. I'm getting mostly good feedback.
How many total?
I don't know. I haven't counted a lot. I mean, this is
Quarter
every
of a
single
million?
day. No, way more.
More than 250,000?
Oh yeah.
Half a million?
I don't know. I'm not. I'm not at liberty to say.
Why not? It's not
But
like
a
it's.
lot. I don't know. It's a lot. I mean, it's probably over that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
which is crazy. It's
yeah.
like I've always wanted to build a product that people used,
Yeah.
and I built this free product that's getting used a fuck ton, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
That's amazing.
And it adds value. I sent you a video of a guy using it, and he was rating plugins, and he put it as like the top tier because it really did. He used it perfectly. He just typed perfect, and then like write a YouTube video about the top 10 ChatGPT plugins. But it took that one sentence and turned it into a full paragraph of context and details about what the model, like what ChatGPT should write, and that's what it is. And also, there's so much value in seeing that because you learn how to be a better prompter by
Yeah.
using that, which is really cool. And I think I'm very happy with how it's panned out with that, from a hackathon project to now, tens of thousands of people learning how to prompt a little better and getting better outputs automatically is just fucking awesome.
Yeah. It is awesome. I don't think that I know what you mean about not knowing the monetization model and getting conflicting things from OpenAI. And I think that when you had done that one update that it required for folks to uninstall the old Prompt Perfect and then install the new Prompt Perfect, there's
Yeah.
this weird bug where it shows me the fact that I still have the old Prompt Perfect still installed. I can't remove it.
Yeah.
Um, and so if you were to do that again, it would probably be a third version, and then that becomes annoying. And so you don't necessarily want. And then also, do you lose your status as being one of the most popular ones? That's an interesting question. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. It's not worth it right now at all.
Hold on, you're muted. Am I missing you?
No, I'm not muted. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. Now it's
Ah,
working.
nice. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not going to make any updates. And I think for the next 2 months will be as is with Prompt Perfect. Um, Maybe I build another app on top of it. Who knows? But
Yeah.
right now, I'm happy.
Yeah. And then with Prompt Perfect, we've got we're reviewing the contract with Bing right now, Bing Chat, and it's looking like we're going to be fully in there with Prompt Perfect plugin
Yeah.
in Bing
It
Chat.
seems like it's going to be in the suite of Microsoft tools too. Like
Yes,
if you use Microsoft tools, you can install it and use Prompt Perfect,
yeah,
and like you can use it in an Excel sheet, I think, which is crazy.
pretty wild. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're violating our NDA by saying that, but it's very
Oh,
interesting. Yeah.
oh no.
I have a feeling they're
That
not
was actually conjecture.
watching.
That was not true.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be fine.
We could cut it too.
Yeah, we could. But yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's pretty cool that Microsoft's pushing forward so quickly with that, and they're gonna be rolling those out really soon. And Prompt Perfect will be involved in that, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, what else about Prompt Perfect? Anything else?
No, that's it, man.
Awesome,
That's all
dude.
I got going on.
Sick. Well, I think that kind of covers it. All the topics we wanted to go through today. Do you have anything else about these that you wanted to touch on?
No, I don't. The only thing that I was thinking of is there's been a pretty huge heat wave going on in Austin. I think it's 104 degrees today, and I left my take outside and heated up, and so now I figure I have a hot take now.
Oh, that was by far the most elaborate, but maybe the
Yeah,
best
that was the longest route.
one.
You got a hot take for the week?
Off the top of my head, I think. Do you have one like lined up? I could definitely. I have one or two. I think. Yeah, I think for me, it's about like I'm going through a little bit of a transition. Like I'm helping Eric with all this stuff. It's really exciting for me to be a part, like to watch him to do this. Like it's incredible how quickly he's iterating. I think, and that's like amazing. I spoke on the phone yesterday. I was out of town last week for a conference, and then had to catch up on some stuff over the weekend. But then we spoke yesterday. He's like, "Oh yeah, I launched another plugin." So what the fuck? So it's really exciting to me to see how quickly you're able to iterate with this. And I think there are probably others doing similar things. I'm on Product Hunt, and I get the notifications every day. So there are a lot of people building a lot of things on top of these platforms. But it's really inspiring to see that. For me, I think it's about how early that is, how early we are in this, and like I'm happy to be even a small, like even just like singular percentages part of this, and help where I can. But also, it's important, I think, to be open and flexible. My hot take is that you got to be willing to take a leap of faith sometimes. I was approached by an organization that is sort of outside of my realm of expertise, but there's a lot of overlap with what it is that I'm good at, like operational standards and building out documentation, and then being organized is, I think, somebody called me type A yesterday, which sounds so funny to me because I do not think I'm type A.
Yeah, you got a little type A in you, type A minus.
Yeah, yeah, more like type F. I got fail. I got pretty much failed out of college, but somebody called me that yesterday, and I thought that was so funny.
That is funny.
But it kind of is true because I'm literally, up until 2 a.m. building out documentation drafts and like templates and things like that to make the long term much easier, so that I don't have to work as hard in the future because this organization really wants me to come on. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Even though it seems like it's maybe outside of like my last 10 years of career, I'm really excited. And like, I think the hot take is that you gotta sometimes take a leap of faith if you think that there's upward trajectory and like maybe a good opportunity for growth. And then this will also afford me the opportunity to like help Eric as much as I can and have more free time to help him out, which is cool because maybe there's a little bit of help that could be like a helping hand.
Yeah, I worked for AlphaPaul for like 6 months, which was a startup direct to consumer like pet goods company. But the reason I wanted to work for him, the founder was like built really awesome businesses and with no experience a lot of the time. And one thing he told me when I quit, because I was going into crypto, he's like, well, this might work against me, but he was like, my advice is if you're really interested in something or you want something, you have to go put yourself in it. Like even if you're not ready for something, being in it is really the key to making big career moves. So
I love that.
you're doing the right stuff. Yeah. That's stuck with me. Worked for AI so far. So
That's for fucking sure. Yeah, one of the first 15 plugins, and then for one of the most popular now, one of the most used, and yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Erich forgets to update me, but he's like having conversations in these WhatsApp groups and like in private Slack channels with OpenAI, and like it's just progressing really quickly. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's wild. Well, good on you, man. Proud of you. My hot take is smaller, but I'm not. I'm sometimes bad at prioritizing or like getting things done. And one of the things that stuck with me that I've heard of a number of times is like do the hardest thing on your to-do list first. Like if you just get it over with rather than putting it off at the end of your list and it keeps getting pushed down and down. And that's helped a little bit with the building stuff where it's like I'm just going to go head first at the thing I think is the scariest on my list, and I tend to get it done quicker than I thought I would. And it's super productive. So
Love it.
yeah, hit the hardest first. It's like going into jail and going up to the biggest guy and punching him. But with the, but you know how you've been to jail, right?
Yeah, you know how that works.
That's how it works in jail.
Oh my god! To be clear, I've never been to jail. I've definitely been in a holding tank a couple of times, and I've definitely been handcuffed. I had to talk about this a couple of days ago. Somebody asked if I've ever been arrested, and I was like, "Do you want me to lie or do you want me to tell you the truth?"
Yeah, if you haven't been arrested, you haven't really lived. I have a hot take for you.
I met somebody from Anderson, South. I was at a food conference in Chicago last week, and I met somebody from Anderson, South Carolina. And I know it's a big town, super young kid. He just graduated from college. But I was like, yeah, I know, like my best friend's from Anderson. Like, I know a little bit about it. I know some guys named Bubba, a bunch of boys out there. He's like, oh, it was really, really funny. But
that is a small world, dude.
Yeah, yeah. But it was very funny. But speaking of going to jail, I think, yeah, some people are more prone to it than others.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
You're looking at two that have definitely put in a little time, so. But not actually in jail. Never mind.
Yeah. Is that a green screen behind you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so right now. Cool, man. Well, I think that's a wrap, huh?
Yes, exactly. Another week of oh yeah, I don't know if I'll have enough content, and then 32 minutes rolls by. Awesome, man. Cool. Well, let's shout out to Josiah Soren for all that he provides the show every week. And yeah, we'll be here next week. Well done, my friend.
Yeah, you too, man. See you then.
Awesome.